Boo! Hello trainers, Professor Palm here, and welcome to October as well as the spooky season. That's right, for the entire month of October, we're going to be talking on a lot of cool things. Of course, we're going to be talking about a lot of creepy Pokemon, but most of all, what we're going to be talking about is a lot of Ghost-type Pokemon. After all, I think the best time to talk about Pokemon is the Season of Fear. It's the best time of the year. Similar to what I said about with Dragon-type Pokemon, it's kind of hard to believe that at one point, Ghost-type Pokemon were a very scarce typing, as at the time of Gen 1, we only had 3, and then Generation 2 didn't make it any easier, as it only introduced a new one to us. So, at the time, there were only 4 Ghost-type Pokemon. But I'm happy to say, as times have changed, we have so many other Ghost-type Pokemon. And not just that, we've also gotten a lot of Ghost-type experts. Sometimes, fighting is fun, especially when you have the power of fear by your side. Not just are Ghost-type Pokemon so impressive, I think that they're really a standout, considering the fact that Ghost-typing, when it's pure form, is the only one to have 2 completely different immunities, instead of just 1. Also, what makes Ghost types such a standout is that in almost every region, we've been introduced to at least 1 Ghost type expert, with the exception of the Kalos region, which to date is the only one not to introduce a Ghost type expert. On a rather cool note, every odd generation, with the exception of Gen 9, has introduced 1 Ghost type Elite Four member. Over the years, we're introduced to a lot of Ghost type specialists. There's always that first one that you take on that you will never forget. For me, it was none other than my childhood friend, Morty. Before I left Ecuteak City to move to the Hoenn region, he told me that he was going to become a gym leader one day. Well, I'm happy to say, all these years later, Morty became a gym leader in the Johto League. He's the 4th gym leader and also hands out the Fog Badge to people who beat him. I'm really proud of my childhood friend. But I will tell you this, that battle between he and I was not easy. He really gave me a fear of Shadow Ball. In fact, I think that's one of the scariest battles I've ever had. I gotta say, I am so proud of Morty all these years later for achieving his dream. He and his Gengar make a great duo. They can be terrifying to anyone who tries taking them on. I also gotta admit, I think that Morty is a pretty terrifying gym leader and can be a major roadblock to so many out there. Because not only are Ghost-type Pokemon strong as well as weak to each other, but getting yourself a Dark-type Pokemon in the Johto region can be very tricky. And yeah, there's a lot of strategy it takes to taking someone like him on, and it's not easy. So good on you, Morty. Since this is the first week of October, I thought that it would be a great idea talking about one of the very first ever Ghost-type specialists. Despite there not being a ton of Ghost types, being only 4 back in the day, Morty did a great job with what he was given. So, I think that we could talk a lot about Morty and find out what makes him such a powerful gym leader. Also, I think that talking about a Ghost-type expert is a great way to get the fear factor started. This whole month, it's going to get even creepier, so might as well start off on a very spooky note. But before we begin, a very special thanks and shout out goes to artist Techrenova for my shirt. Today's Within shirt I'm wearing is called the Mega Ghost Within. Since we're starting off the spooky season strong, I thought that we should start off with Mega Power. Are you a fan of Gengar or Mega Gengar and you like this shirt? Well, check out Techrenova's Etsy shop in the description below. She makes amazing shirts very similar to this. So please check her out and remember to say Professor Palm sent ya. Do you hear that? Listen carefully. It's the spirits calling. It's telling us the spooky season is open. So let's go back to Ecuteak City, where it all began for me, as well as the first ever Ghost type gym leader, as well as male specialist, the spooktacular gym leader himself, Morty. Morty, the Mystic Seer of the Future, is the 4th gym leader in the Johto region that you must take on. He's stationed at Ecuteak City, where he was born and raised. Morty is a Ghost-type specialist, and he actually has had a connection to Ghost types since he was a child, as Ghost-type Pokemon always seem to gravitate towards him. He has a bond like no other with Ghost-type Pokemon. Not just is he good with Ghost types in battle, but Morty knows more about Ghost types and their power better than anyone in all of Johto. Since Morty has been training with ghost types all his life, not only is he a perfect spirit caller as well as a ghost type trainer, but he's also developed a sixth sense, which he calls his ghost sense. This helps him determine whether a ghost Pokemon is around, and the ghost sense also helps Morty see into the future to determine what might and can happen. When not at the gym, Morty spends his evenings watching shows as he likes seeing what happens at Ecuteak Dance Theater. He also enjoys learning about the history, not just of Johto, but of all the regions, and usually goes to museums, ruins, as well as historical sites, mainly the Burn Tower and the Bell Tower. When at the Burn Tower, Morty trains with his ghost types, and even makes friends with new ghost Pokemon that come to the site. Morty is a follower of legendary Pokemon, and he loves Ho-Oh. He goes to the Bell Tower often, as Morty comes from a family of generations that protected Ho-Oh before the legendary bird flew far away. His dream is to one day meet Ho-Oh and restore the peace, not just to Ecuteak City, but to the entire Johto region. Morty also has a very good friendship with Hussein, as the two of them go to the Burn Tower often and talk about legendary Pokemon, especially the legendary beast, as both Morty and Hussein are fascinated by the stories of Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. Morty has a major difference between the Gen 2 Johto games and the Gen 4 Johto games. In his first appearance, Morty wears much more cooler colors and a bandana, going for more of a chill spirit-like look. While in the remakes, Morty goes for a more spirit collar appearance, showing that he is one with the spirits, and he likes to wear a lot more warmer colors. The new thing about him is that now he has a ghostly scarf and a golden pin, which is in the shape of a ghost, and also shows that he has a good bond with so many ghost-type Pokemon. Also, this new redesign has been his go-to ever since the games of Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Morty made his main series debut in the Pokemon Johto League Champions episode, A Ghost of a Chance, where Ash, Misty, and Brock entered the Burn Tower, thinking it was the Ecuteak City gym, only to be attacked by the wild ghost-type Pokemon that lived there, until Morty appeared and he called them off, telling the ghost Pokemon to leave Ash and his friends alone. He revealed that he was the Ecuteak City gym leader, which prompted Ash to challenge him, and Morty happily accepted. However, Morty wished to battle in the gym rather than the Burn Tower, which prompted him to talk about the past of the Burn Tower and why so many ghost-type Pokemon lived there. While looking around the Burn Tower, Ash saw an old Ho-Oh picture, which he claimed he saw, but Morty denied, claiming that Ho-Oh vanished over 300 years ago. After his story, Togepi ran to explore, and Pikachu followed it. Misty wanted to go after them, worried about her Togepi. However, the walls were too narrow and too damaged. Knowing that the Burn Tower was dangerous, Morty called upon his Gengar to gather other ghost Pokemon in the tower to help him find Togepi and Pikachu. This teamwork impressed Ash and his friends. As the group looked all around the Burn Tower, one of the Ghastly told Morty that it had seen Pikachu and Togepi, and it showed them where to go. Unfortunately, Team Rocket had tracked them down and tried to get away with Pikachu and Togepi. However, one of the Ghastlies saw it and chased after it. Thanks to Morty's Gengar, it stopped Team Rocket in their tracks. As Team Rocket tried to get away, Gengar flew after them. Gengar used Nightshade to free Pikachu and Togepi. Then Morty called on Ghastly and Haunter to catch Pikachu and Togepi before they hit the ground. As Team Rocket tried to fight Morty, Morty's Gengar used Shadow Ball, sending Team Rocket flying. And after their team up, Morty took Ash and his friends to his gym, where Morty told Ash as well as everyone else to get a good night rest before the gym battle, which Ash accepted, and Morty went inside to train. The following episode, From Ghost to Ghost, Morty was revealed to be a teacher teaching several of his students about ghost-type Pokemon. When Ash arrived to challenge him, Morty introduced Ash to his students and invited them to watch his battle. For their gym battle, Morty and Ash did a 3-on-3 match. Morty used Ghastly and Ash used Noctowl for their first fight. Because of how fast his Ghastly was, Ash switched Pokemon out and used his Pikachu to take on Ghastly. Unfortunately, Ghastly was too quick and one-shotted his Pikachu with Nightshade. Then Ash sent out Cyndaquil, trying to use Fire-type moves. Unfortunately, his Ghastly was too fast. However, this was just a trick, as Cyndaquil eventually ran up Ghastly's tongue when he tried to use Lick and one-shotted him using a Tackle. Morty then used his Haunter, who was just as powerful, and by using a combo of Hypnosis, Lick, and Slam, Morty easily won against Ash's Cyndaquil. Out of options, Ash once again used Noctowl against Morty's Haunter, and he managed to win using the new move Confusion, which knocked Haunter right out of the sky. Finally, Morty sent out his ace Gengar. Knowing Noctowl wouldn't last much longer, Ash tried to end the battle quickly, and he succeeded, using his Noctowl's Confusion with max power. After the battle, Morty congratulated Ash and wished him the best. He handed Ash Ketchum the Fog Badge, which made Ash very happy, knowing that he had won his 4th gym badge in the Johto region. Morty also made a cameo in the Pokemon Evolutions anime episode, The Show, where he and his Gengar attended the Kimono Girl show, which left Gengar in tears from how good it was. For Morty's gym battle in all of the Johto games, being Gold, Silver, Crystal, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver, Morty uses a team of 4 Pokemon, and his team includes his Ghastly, which is the frontrunner of his gym team, who in Gold, Silver, and Crystal is at level 21, is male, and has the move pool of Lick, Spite, Mean Look, and Curse, while in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Morty's Ghastly is also level 21, has the ability Levitate, and has the exact same move pool of Lick, Spite, Mean Look, and Curse. His Haunter, who in Gold, Silver, and Crystal is at level 21, is male, and has the move pool of Hypnosis, Curse, Mimic, and Nightshade, while in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Morty's first Haunter is also at level 21, has the ability Levitate, and has the move pool of Hypnosis, Dream Eater, Curse, and Nightmare. And since this one really likes to give bad dreams and put you to sleep, I call this first Haunter the Frightmare Haunter. His second Haunter, who in Gold, Silver, and Crystal is at level 23, is male and has the move pool of Spite, Mean Look, Mimic, and Nightshade, while in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Morty's second Haunter is also level 23, has the ability Levitate, and has the move pool of Curse, Mean Look, Sucker Punch, and Nightshade. And since this one likes to go for offense, I call this one Night Strike Haunter. And at last, Morty's signature Pokemon, Gengar, who in Gold, Silver, and Crystal is his strongest Pokemon at level 25 and has the move pool of Shadow Ball, Mean Look, Hypnosis, and Dream Eater. While in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Morty's Gengar also is at level 25, holds the item the Citrus Berry, which restores its health, has the ability Levitate, and has the move pool of Hypnosis, Shadow Ball, Mean Look, and Sucker Punch. So, Morty will always start off this gym battle, ramping up the fear factor with his Ghastly, and 9 times out of 10, he'll end the battle with Gengar. However, he could also send Gengar out early and end the battle instead with his Haunter. So, you better watch out for this battle with these grim grinning ghosts. This is one battle that'll leave you creeped out. When you go to take on Morty and his Ghost-type team at the Ecuteak City Gym, you better go into battle with a game plan if you want to beat Morty and win his Fog Badge, because this is going to be one frightening fight. If you're unsure of what to do, here, let me give you some advice of what the best moves are for this battle, as well as what Pokemon that you should bring for this spooky showdown. Since all of Morty's Pokemon are the Gengar, Haunter, and Ghastly line, which are Ghost and Poison type, the best moves, as well as best Pokemon that you should go into battle with are Dark-type Pokemon and Dark-type moves, Ghost-type Pokemon and Ghost-type moves, Psychic-type Pokemon and Psychic-type moves, and surprisingly enough, Normal-type Pokemon, but not Normal-type moves, as they won't do anything. I highly recommend getting yourself a Dark-type Pokemon or using Dark-type moves for this battle, as all 4 of Morty's ghosts cannot take the power of the dark side, and you'll be dealing out super effective damage to all his team members. Unfortunately, the only one available in Johto is the Umbreon that you can evolve from the Eevee you get from Bill. However, if you can trade a Dark-type Pokemon over from another Gen 2 game or another Gen 4 game, and maybe take it to the daycare and hatch one, you'll be ready for this battle with a brand new Dark-type. And the Dark-type moves will be lights out for Morty and his grim grinning ghosts. Using Ghost-type Pokemon and moves is also a good strategy, as you can turn the tables on Morty and give him a taste of his own fear, in case you don't have any Dark-type Pokemon or moves. Just like Dark-type moves, Ghost-type moves do super effective damage. However, I urge you to be very careful when using Ghost-type Pokemon against Morty's Ghost team, because Ghost Pokemon are the only other typing, next to Dragon, who are strong as well as weak to their own moves. So, he himself could do super effective damage to you too. But, if you're smart, you can raise Ghost types right and leave Morty and his team petrified. Even though Psychic-type Pokemon are weak to Ghost-type moves, Psychic-type moves are super effective against Poison-type Pokemon, a typing all of Morty's team members share with one another. So, call the power of the light and bring down Morty's toxic ghostly team. But, similar to Ghost-type, you have to be very careful if you use Psychic-type Pokemon. In this battle, the light will be blinded by the fear factor of Morty's ghostly Pokemon. But, if you play your strategy right, you'll be the one who leaves the battle winning with a smart mind over muscle. However, when looking at defense, I'd say that Normal-type Pokemon surprisingly come in handy. While Normal-type moves don't do any damage to Ghost-type Pokemon, the feeling's mutual, as Ghost-type moves can't harm Normal types. So if you need to switch out mid-battle to heal, revive, or do something else, using Normal-type Pokemon really helps. Also, you can teach them a lot of moves that can really help you in this battle. I would say Ground-type moves would also be great for this battle, as Poison-type Pokemon like them cannot take it. However, when Gen 3 added abilities, all members of the Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar line all got Levitate, which makes ground moves completely ineffective, so it's pretty much worthless to use it. However, if you have a Pokemon that uses the move Gravity, then by all means, use it. You can now use your Ground-type moves. Make the earth shake and bring down these ghosts. Speaking on the subject of abilities, Pokemon that have the ability Insomnia would be great for this fight. Since Morty likes to put so many Pokemon to sleep and then have his ghosts eat their dreams, it would be a good way to prevent a Pokemon from falling asleep, so you don't have to switch out or use an item for this gym battle, costing you a turn. So, all in all, I recommend using Dark, Ghost, and Psychic-type moves and Pokemon if you really want to go for the offense in this battle. You'll be able to go ghost busting in this fight against Morty, and you should be good as gold. If you beat Morty, he'll gladly hand over the Fog Badge, which allows you now to use HM3 Surf when outside of battle. And his Fog Badge will also allow Pokemon at level 50 or lower to obey you when traded. And as a bonus, Morty will also reward the player with TM30 Shadow Ball, which is his favorite Ghost-type move. Being a gym leader and a Ghost-type specialist, Morty sure has a lot of things to talk on. Then again, every gym leader is unique. So, let's talk on some fun facts and tidbits about this spooktacular Ghost-type gym leader of Ecuteak City. Next to Sabrina, who in Pokemon Yellow used a team of the Abra, Kadabra, and Alakazam line for her gym battle, Morty is so far the only other gym leader to use an entire 3-stage evolutionary line for his gym battle, using the Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar line. The scarf worn by Morty in his Heart Gold and Soul Silver redesigns is very reminiscent of Mega Gengar's colors, and this was 3 years before we ever met Mega Gengar. So, it's kind of an early Easter egg of what was to come. And while he's never used a Mega Gengar, I would be happy to see him use one in the future. So far, Morty along with Alistair are the only Ghost-type specialists to be male, as all the others have been female. On a rather cool note, both Morty and Alistair use the same signature Pokemon, being Gengar. The only major difference is that Alistair's Gengar is capable of Gigantamax. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, of all Johto gym leaders, Morty is the only one who uses 2 of the same Pokemon on his rematch battle team. In Pokemon Masters EX, Morty wears 2 different colored Signa suits of Ho-Oh, a Pokemon who he has looked up to all his life and is absolutely one of his favorites. For Halloween in Masters EX, Morty dresses up with his Baynet, wearing a magician-styled outfit based on Baynet. Even though Morty and Hussein both love the legendary beasts, Morty admits that he favors both Raikou and Entei over Suicune, the legendary beasts which Hussein favors. And at last, Morty is the last gym leader in the Johto region that you fight in chronological order until Claire. After you beat Morty and you do all the other tasks, You could fight Chuck, Jasmine, and Price in any order you choose before you take on Claire, the final gym leader of Johto. This is because you need Morty's Fog Badge in order to use Surf to progress in the rest of the game. While Morty may not be the first ever Ghost-type specialist, he was the first ever Ghost-type specialist to be a gym leader, and he really knows how to get things spooky on the battlefield. I also gotta say, his puzzle could be very scary. With just one wrong move, and you're going back to the start. You haven't even fought Morty yet, and already you're gonna go into this battle very scared. Well, that's what happens when you mess with one who's good with the spirits. Even though there were only 4 ghost types to work with back in Gen 2, he really knew how to make you feel uneasy and bring out your greatest fears. Though, I will admit, I wish that Morty had used a Misdrevious on his team. While it was the only new ghost-type Pokemon introduced, Misdrevious would have been great for Morty's team, as it would have spelt bad luck to all of Morty's foes, as that ghost is like a spell of misfortune. Being one of the spirits can be very creepy, yet so cool at the same time. Morty shows just how powerful he is with his skills of ghost types. I guess it's safe to say that he's got friends on the other side. Some spirits are calm, and some are restless as well as vengeful. Put them together like Morty, and you have a team of grim-grinning ghosts that will ensure you victory by turning up the fear factor. While we've met a lot of other spooky ghost-type experts, there's just something about Morty that's different from the others. Maybe it's because, for some of us, Morty really showed us just how strong and scary ghost types can be, especially for gym teams. With that poison gas that his Haunter, Gengar, and Ghastly are made of, you know that this is going to be a very spooky gym to take on, because you're going to get lost in the fog with Morty. Boy, I really need to go back to Ecuteak City and see Morty again. It's been a while, but I hope he's doing okay. Maybe I should see him for Halloween. Might be a fun day to go do something again with him. He is one of my best friends after all. Well, trainers, I hope that you enjoyed learning all about Morty and seeing what type of creepy team he has. But before we end this, I just have a few questions for all of you. As of Gen 8, we officially have a gym leader of every typing. Who's so far been your favorite gym leader? And when it comes to gym leaders who specialize in ghost-type Pokemon, who do you think is the strongest, as well as who do you think was the toughest Johto gym leader? We've been introduced to a lot of ghost-type Pokemon over the years. Who has so far been your favorite ghost-type line, as well as who is your favorite individual ghost-type Pokemon? Also, what's the best typing paired up with ghosts so far? When it comes to the final seasons, I love October. I love watching the fall happen. What is your favorite season? Also, what's your favorite holiday of the final 4? Being Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. And of course, since Halloween is at the end of the month, and a lot of us are looking forward to eating candy that night, what is your favorite candy? I know this is a trick-or-trade bundle, but it does remind me of a chocolate bar or even a candy bar. Out of all the ones we have, which is one that you're looking the most forward to having Halloween night? Here's a little bit of a Halloween hunt just for you. My Rodriguez appeared several times throughout this video. Did you catch it? If you did, please type in the timestamps of when you saw Rodriguez. This Pokemon really likes to be around during the spookiest time of the year. I hope you had a frighteningly fun time learning about my buddy Morty and his gym team. If you did, please leave a like. If you have any questions, you want to answer any of the questions that I just threw at you, you want me to do another Hitting the Gym video on a different gym leader, or you want me to go back to my regular roots and do Pokemon videos and you have a line you want, then please comment. And as always, if you liked what you saw and you want to see more, smash the subscribe button. As a Pokemon professor, it's my job to teach trainers like all of you, so please share my videos with as many as you can. The spooky season has just began, and it's gonna get even scarier. Thanks for watching, trainers. Palm out.